All right, our last topic of our first unit, order of operations, PEMDAS. I know you guys know PEMDAS, so we'll go through this fairly quickly. Um, Order of operations is used to evaluate expressions, right? Order of operations. And I know that you guys have learned about order of operations before because truthfully, we've already done some order of operations problems in our class. So you guys may have learned PEMDAS, purple elephants marching down a street, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Remember, P stands for parentheses. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. Or other grouping symbols. Now that could be an absolute value, right? Which we talked about in this unit. That would fall under P, parentheses. Then goes E, our exponents, which we've talked a lot about in this unit, some exponent rules. Then it's multiplying and divide. And I wrote it like this because you multiply and divide left to right. So sometimes you end up doing division before multiplication if it happens left to right, if it happens first. So left to right. Same with adding and subtracting. This is why I wrote them kind of in one step together. You do it from left to right. And we'll have a chance to look at some examples in a second. So again, order of operations are used to evaluate expressions. We follow that PEMDAS, those parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract, left to right. So let's do a couple examples here. I only did a couple because I know that you guys know how to do this. Because again, I've thrown some of these at you at Do Nows and cumulative reviews. So this is more so just quick review. I'm going to pause it here. That way, if you need to pause the video, you have everything on one screen so that you can type up what you need to type up. All right. Use order of operations to find the values of the expressions. All right. So sometimes I like to write out PEMDAS just so I can kind of, go in order. So parentheses, I'm going to take care of what's in the parentheses first. So 4, 8 minus 6 is 2, minus 7, we're going to do this, 5 minus 2, 3 is 2, squared. So parentheses means do what's inside parentheses. Parentheses in this case right here is actually representing multiplication. We are done with our parentheses. All right. Now exponents. 2 squared, we know that is 4. Then we do our multiplication. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 4 is 28. I don't see any division. Adding and subtracting, we'll do that. 8 minus 28 is negative 20. Again, I know I did that fairly quickly. Of course, you would have calculators to help you do that math. All right, let's try the next one. PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is how I learned it. So I don't see parentheses. I don't see exponents. Let's do multiplication and division left to right. So 8 minus 1/2 times 6 is 3, plus 24 divided by 6 is 4. Then adding, subtracting left to right. So 8 minus 3 comes first, plus 4 is 9. All right, let's do this next one. Holy moly, look at that. All right. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Well, we've got to do what's on top first. So on top, I don't see any exponents, I'm sorry, parentheses, or exponents on the top. I do see exponents on the bottom. So let's kind of just rewrite things here. 2 to the third is really 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8. Multiplication and division, well, negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8, plus 5 times 2, which is 10, over 8. Now we have to simplify numerator first before we can divide these. Because really this could be written in parentheses. So let's add negative 8 plus 10 is 2, and 2 divided by 8 is 1/4. All right, number 4. I think there's only 6, maybe 5. Let's see. Just 6. All right, PEMDAS. Parentheses, I don't see them. Exponents I see, 8 squared, which is 64, 8 times 8. Multiplication and division, well, 14 divided by 2, 7. Now adding and subtracting left to right. So I know that A comes before S, but you have to do adding and subtracting left to right. So 35 minus 7 is 28. And 28 plus 64, 92. So again, I know it's A before S, but we have to do it left to right. That's a big mistake you probably see. You probably see people post things on social media like, is this answer 2 or 4? And then people debate it. That's usually the issue, is that people don't do adding and subtracting left to right. You get a different answer. All right, let's jump to number 5. Holy moly. Okay. PEMDAS. Parentheses and other grouping. So that would be our absolute value. So 9 squared plus 28 divided by 4 minus the absolute value of 18, which is 18. Then we do our exponents. 9 squared is 81 plus 28 divided by 4 minus 18. Then multiplication left to right. So 81 plus 27 divided by 4, which is 7. Then adding and subtracting. So 81 plus 7 is 88. Minus 18 is 70. I love order of operations. You really learn it for when you guys are little guys, and you do it all the way up through high school. So I just think it's so fun. It's kind of like a puzzle to me. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. You seem to, because you do awesome with it in class. All right, and last one, PEMDAS. Again, I didn't do too many examples because I know that you know it. This is more to serve as review. So parentheses and other groupings, absolute value 34. Now really, we can look at this like this. So the absolute value of 34, negative 34, I'm sorry, is 34 divided by 4 squared minus 6 over 3 minus 8. So let's take care of this set of parentheses. So 34 divided by 4 squared, which is 4 times 4, which is 16. Let's do our multiplication and division, but we actually have to do our subtraction before we divide here. Because again, really, these can be written as in parentheses. So 16 divided by 6 is 10. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. So when you have stuff in a fraction like that, where you have a lot going on in the numerator, a lot going on in the denominator, you have to simplify them first, because again, those can be really written as fractions, I'm sorry, in parentheses, which we'd have to do before we do division. So again, really, this can be written like this, which if we're doing order of operations, we have to take care of parentheses before we can divide. Oops. 10 divided by -5 is, oh my goodness gracious, -2. And now we can divide. 34 divided by -2, -17. So I quickly just want to recap that before I end this video. Now, the reason we don't do our division here first is because really, these can be written as 2 sets of parentheses. And really, these can be written in parentheses. So we have to take care of parentheses first before we go into exponents, multiplication, and division, adding and subtracting. So it's kind of like we had to do order of operations in order of operations on this one, right? So we do the parentheses in the parentheses first. We will practice more of these, but again, I know that you know them. You've done awesome with them. This was more so as a review for you guys. That is our last topic of Unit 1. How exciting. We will review for your test on Thursday. And again, your test will be a take-home test in the following week. All right. See you soon.